Jai Hind to all my loving children. Welcome back to my class, your English class by Tulika ma'am. Last day we had done determiners. I hope you have all understood. You have done your work in your B notebooks. They are completed. You have done the homework also. Children, today I'll be taking up your literature, The Footprints Without Feet, the chapter The Midnight Visitor. At the end of the class, if I have time, I'll be discussing the answers of your homework, which I had shared in a PDF in my last class. Neither I'll be doing it in my next class. So, let us start. I hope you are enjoying your class and you are doing your assignments too. Now, today, before starting the class, I want to discuss with you a very important idiom, which plays a very important role in our life. The idiom is don't judge a book by its cover. So you would say, ma'am, today why are you starting the class with such an idiom? Yes, children, I'm doing it because I have an intention behind it. This English idiom that says, don't judge a book by its cover, is a metaphorical phrase that means one should not prejudge the worth or value of something by its outward appearance alone. Now, this mistakes we usually do, isn't it? We go trailed off by the outer appearance of a thing. We don't go inside into anything. For example, a man may look very small and insignificant, but we should not judge him by his looks. We should interact with that person. We should try to know that what good things that person is having. Sometimes very good, lucrative, attractive, shining things may capture us, isn't it? But that may not be shining always. We can be deceived. So, never to judge a book by its cover. It's a very powerful idiom. A person always gets deceived by the outer appearance of a book or a person or a thing. We should have patience, we should give some time, and we should try to know the person. We should try to go inside the book, okay? And then we should come to a conclusion commenting about that book or the person. Now, children, another important thing I want to say, have you heard about secret agents? I think all of you have heard. What does a secret agent do? They are the detective or criminal investigator who works for a government agency, isn't it? He or she investigates suspected and alleged criminal violations of law to determine if evidence is sufficient to warrant a prosecution. The term secret agent should not be confused with the special agent. Now you would say, why ma'am is speaking about the secret agent or about judging a book outside the cover? Yes, all these are related to the chapter which we are going to study today. We are going to take up the chapter The Midnight Visitor. All right, and all the idiom which says that we should not judge the book by its cover. This theme has been pen pictured, pen portrayed in the book. Here, the Osable is a secret agent. Okay, we'll be studying about a detective story. Have you read detective stories before? No, ma'am. We don't read storybooks. We watch televisions. We watch movies. We watch web series. Don't do it. Okay? They just spoil your vocabularies, your imagination, creative powers. Rather, you go for storybooks. So, today we are going to take up a detective story, The Midnight Visitor. The Midnight Visitor here will be speaking about a secret agent whose name was Ossipal. Ossipal was fat, plump, but he was very smart, children. Fowler, on the other hand, was a romantic story writer. He was good looking and handsome, and he was young too. He believed in the characters of the stories. According to him, he was a daydreamer, I would tell you. He used to dream that a secret agent would be a tall, a dark, with cornered eyes, having a glass of drinks in his hand, having a cigar, or ladies, beautiful, spooky ladies will be surrounding. The secret agent will be surrounded by the spooky, beautiful ladies all around. So he had a picture of a secret agent like this because he read in the storybooks. As I told you, that he was a daydreamer, and he had a, imagination of a secret agent of this sort. But when he met Oswald, all his imaginations shattered. It did not match. All his imaginations of a secret agent did not match with the appearance of Oswald. Now let us see what is there in the short story. It's not a long story. It's just a short story. Let us see here. You can see uh, the chapter, and now I'll be going for the introduction to the lesson. Now, Osable, who was a secret agent, is expecting a very important report. I told you that the secret agents, what they do, they just they are in or they go for investigation, or they are in security of the important government papers, isn't it? So he was expecting a very important report. Another secret agent, Max, threatens him with a pistol. Pistol is what? A gun, demanding the report. Does Osable outwit him? The story is about a secret agent, Osable, who has spent an evening with a writer named Fowler, who had expected that as he would be meeting a secret agent, he would be looking into a lot of adventure. But instead, he rather gets bored when he meets Osable, as the things that happened were exactly the opposite what he had imagined. I told you at the starting of the class that Fowler was a daydreamer, and he had more trust in the characters which were displayed in the storybooks which he used to read. All right. So possible as the things that had happened were exactly the opposite of what he means what Fowler had imagined. How Osable gets rid of this unexpected guest, all right, and he proves his expertise as a secret agent. This is all about in the chapter. The story is a short but intriguing insight into the life of a spy, which may not be as glamorous as in the movies, but still full of danger and suspense. Oswald meets Fowler, a writer fascinated by spies and secret agents. Now, children, have you ever watched a mystery movie? Yes. Do you like watching mystery movies, or what type of books or movies you like to read or watch? Please quickly write in the conversation box till I go to the next slide telling you about the author. I'm just waiting for your answers. What type of movies or books you are more interested in? Please write in your chat box. I would be responding to your chat boxes when I'll ask you the question. You will be responding me in your answers with your answers. But when I start the explanation, you have to have patience with me and you have to listen to the explanations very clearly. And I've explained the chapter very clearly with all the explanations, with all the PPTs I've prepared. I think this will be the enough material which would support you for your English literature, this chapter. All right. So your conversation chats are coming up. Right. Now let me tell you something about the author. About the author would never come for your exams, but again and again, I tell you that why do I give some information about the author so that when you grow old like me, you would say, yes, I know something about the author. For your general knowledge, I just give some informations which I can collect. I just provide you for just to have an information so that the authors would be known to you. When somebody asks you about your author or the poet, you should be saying, yes, I know is this. Okay? Even not the detail, one or two things you should remember about each authors or poets you are their creations which we are studying. You should know the poets and the authors, right? Now, about the author, who is the author? The Robert J. Arthur. He was born in 10th November 1909 and he left us May 2nd, 1969. He was a writer of speculative fiction known for his work with Mysterious Traveler radio series and for writing The Three Investigators, a series of young adult novels. Arthur was honored twice by the Mystery Writers of America and an Edgar Award for the Best Radio Drama. He also wrote scripts for televisions such as The Twilight Zone and the Alfred Hitchcock's TV show. Okay? And what was the name of the TV show? Alfred Hitchcock Presents. All right? This is enough for your information. Now, the most important thing, the message of this chapter. Each and every chapter, each and every poet it has a message in it. And how the message helps us, children? It helps us a lot because it teaches us a moral to build up our characters, our inner self. So I feel that more than the chapter, it is the moral, it is the message which helps us to learn something, right? The message of this chapter is that in any situation, there are two messages, okay? The first message told you that the book should not be judged by its cover, okay? The second important message of this chapter is that in any situation, we should not panic, children. Instead, we should take a step and face the situation with great presence of mind. Now, have you seen uh, the young people been awarded before 26 January for their valor? Have you seen it? By presidents they are awarded, isn't it? Now why they are awarded? They are awarded for their valor, not only for the valor but for their presence of mind, how they use their presence of mind and the wit together to face the situation. That's it. That is what we should learn at this moment. We should not get panicked with any situation. Now, in this chapter, when Osable and young writer reached their room, they saw a man with a gun pointing towards them. Did they start crying? Did they lose all hope? No. Let us see what they have done. But you have to learn that at any situation, wherever you come up, wherever your life turns you up, you are not going to break up. You are not going to get panicked. But you would always remember my class today that every problem comes with a solution. So, never to get panic. You will have your wit, your presence of mind, and you would fight back the situation. Understood? Then only you will be declared as the winner. So, another famous saying complements the chapter which your teacher told you at the opening of the class, that a book should never be judged by its cover, which usually we do the mistake. Yes, we usually judge a book, judge a person by the outer appearance, which we should not do. Now we are coming to the character sketch. The characters revolves round three main characters, children. Two, the rival spies. Spies means the secret agents. All right. Spies. What is the possible and Max? Okay. And they are accompanied by one mystery writer named Fowler. I told you about Fowler at the starting, isn't it? Ossipal is a chubby, lethargic, messy, and clumsy man, while Max is a slender and rugged personality. Now, one by one, I'll be introducing you with the characters of the chapter. Fowler is a very young writer. He wrote books related to the romantic aspects of life. Shifting from this genre, children, he wanted to write a book on the detectives. In his mind, he had formed a picture of a detective like James Bond. In our times, we were all fascinated with James Bond. We are very much fascinated with James Bond. We used to study, we used to, read the James Bond novels, and we used to watch also James Bond movies. According to his imagination, the detective would be young with attractive personality. All right. He assumed a detective to be surrounded by equipment related to the field. For his astonishment, when he met Oswald, he was fully devastated. Other words, he was frustrated. All right, because Oswald did not match to any of his imaginations of a secret agent. Now we'll come to learn about Oswald. Okay, Ossipal is the protagonist of the story. Who is the protagonist, children? The main character, the hero. Yes, The Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur. Remember, learn the name Robert Arthur. Robert Arthur. He is a secret agent. Who? Ossipal. But his appearance did not match his profession. He was a very sharp minded and had a quick and witty mind to escape any situation with his self confidence. He was a short, a fat man who was quite lazy too. As he was a secret agent, he tricked Max and made him believe that there was a balcony attached to his window, even though there was no balcony over there. In this way, he saved his crucial documents from Max. Okay, now we are going to get acquainted with the character. Can you tell me who is the next character? It's Max. Max was a slender man, not very tall. His features suggested that he was slightly crafty and cunning like that of a fox. He did not seem very dangerous, other than the fact that he was holding a gun. Yes, he was holding a gun, so he had become a dangerous person there. Okay, and you will see in the story how Oswald uses his wit to get rid of this dangerous man. He had come sleathily. Sleathily means silently. Okay, intruded in the room silently, sleathily into Oswald's room and wanted the report on the missiles. Right? But Max was also slightly gullible. He easily fell into the trap set by Oswald. His gullibility probably costs him his life. He was overconfident, children, just because he had a gun. So never to think that you are powerful on the opponent person as because you're having a gun or a weapon. You should always have a witty mind with it. So, but Max was also slightly gullible. He easily fell into the trap set by Oswald. His gullibility probably cost him his life. He was overconfident, children, just because he had a gun. That is what I said. Okay, pointed at Oswald and Fowler. Max lacked the presence of mind which Oswald had. All right. He was so focused on pointing the gun at both of the man that both of the both of the men that he did not look down for a second to see whether there was a balcony below the window or not. Okay. He just blindly believed Oswald. Max proved that he could be easily fooled. This did not make him a very good secret agent. So, children, did you understand? Are you following? Are you getting bored? Yes? Should we stop for a conversation here? Yes, you can write whether you could guess something about the chapter, about the short story, reading the character sketches as you have got acquainted with the characters. Which character you are liking the most? You can write it. I'll be waiting for your I'll chats. Yes, quickly type it. Right. Now we'll come to the theme of the story. The story highlights the theme that wisdom is more powerful than other weapons. So, how many things we have learned here? Not to judge a book by its cover. Okay. Then, we should not get panicked at the moment of crisis. Rather, we should hold our nerves. Okay. And we should act witfully. Third thing which you have learned in this chapter is that your wisdom is much more powerful than any other weapons. Osable is an intelligent and is highlighted in the story. It is also based on the theme that one should not be judge a person merely by his appearance. Osable is a fat and lazy, but is the most intelligent of all in the story. So, children, do you agree with me? What are the three things we have learned today? What are the three things we have learned? Can you write it in short? In short, you can write. Your messages can have short words, very short. You can write it. Start responding. Three things we have learned. First is never to judge a book by its cover. Then you can write in abbreviation. You can write it in abbreviated words, but write it. What three things we have learned? Please, children, write it. Three things which we have learned: not to judge a book by its cover, not to lose nerves at the or not to get panicked at the moment of crisis, and third, not to feel that and the third is to always have a belief that the wisdom is much more powerful than a weapon, isn't it? Right. So the next is the Midnight Visitor. The title of the story is The Midnight Visitor. Now, who is the Midnight Visitor? What is the purpose of his visit? This question may you people this question may be hovering you people, isn't it? You might be pondering this question that who is the Midnight Visitor or what is the purpose of his visit, isn't it? So, in the story, the Midnight Visitor is Max. All right. He visited Osable because he wanted some papers from him. He went to him with a gun, with a pistol. He tried to threaten Osable, but he was not successful in his mission because he was trapped by the wisdom, by the wit, by the presence of mind of Osable. Right? Now we'll be going through the summary of the Midnight Visitor. Are you ready, children? Now don't get distracted. Be all of you be with me now. Right? Shall I start the summary? Just enjoy the summary. Enjoy. Just hear to what the summary has been explained to you all. Okay? The Midnight Visitor is a detective story and its writer is Robert Arthur. This article is about the Midnight Visitor. Osable is a detective. He is one such secret agent who expects to get some sensitive papers in his hotel room. But one of his rival, Max, attacked him at the gunpoint and he demanded the papers. But Oswald showed a remarkable common sense and he came out of this situation, children. Fowler, his friend, was surprised to see a secret agent Osable because Osable did not match to his imagination. As he imagined a detective to be, a secret agent to be, Osable did not match to his imagination. So Fowler was surprised to see the wit, to see the presence of mind, and uh, how he tackled the crisis, how he tackled that moment and got escaped from the moment of crisis. So, Oswald, who was too fat to be a secret agent based on his physical appearance, Fowler thought that he judged him wrong, children. This is what I want to say, that he judged him wrong. For Fowler, the situation was scary. But Oswald, sensing that danger, because Fowler wanted to be with a secret agent because he wanted to write a detective story. All right. So he wanted to be with a secret agent. But when he met the secret agent, he felt that he was deceived by his appearance, and he got frustrated. Okay. But when he entered the room with Oswald and found Max with a gun pointing out at them, at this situation, Fowler did not know how to tackle the situation. He did not have the presence of mind. Rather, he became scary. But Oswald, sensing the danger, fabricated. Fabricated means he weaved a brilliant story about the non existent balcony on which Max believed. And he weaved it so quickly, he fabricated, he framed it so quickly that he did not give chance to Max to give a second thought that whether there was a balcony behind the room. Right? So Oswald befooled Max by saying that the police was knocking at the door. Max wanted to run away to avoid the police, and what he does is he jumps to his death into that virtual balcony. There was no balcony, I'd say. Just there was a knock at the door. Actually, it was he was the waiter who came up. Okay, room service. Um, um, the waiter, he was knocking the door, but Oswald framed it as if that it was the police who was knocking the door. Max got tense and Oswald gave him a way out. He said that there is a balcony behind the down the window, so he can jump out the window and can rest in the balcony, hide in the balcony. And there wasn't any, it was a virtual balcony. There wasn't any balcony, so Max gets into the trap and he jumps out of of the window and he dies. He dies. Right. Now comes the detailed summary. Now, in the detailed summary, I have framed it in such a way according to the incident which is been flowed in the chapter. Now, as it the incidents are just uh, it is presented one by one as it is there in your textbook. Okay. So, what was the first incident? Fowler meets secret agent Oswald. Fowler was a young romantic writer. He came to meet a secret agent Oswald in his office. Actually, he had come to gather necessary material for his book on secret agents. Like all people, Fowler had also formed a quite romantic picture of the secret agent as represented in the books and films. Oswald didn't fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read or imagined. Fowler felt let down. Oswald's office was in a small room on the sixth and the top floor. He was a sloopy fat man. He had an American accent. Oswald himself felt that Fowler was disappointed after meeting him. So, this was the first incident, children. Right? Now we come to the next one. The next incident, the important paper in Oswald's custody. Oswald told Fowler that he had a very important paper in his custody. Someday that paper might well affect the course of history. Then Oswald switched on the light. Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. He saw a man with a small automatic pistol in his hand. Just remember, all frustrated Fowler, he was assisting Oswald to his sixth floor, a small gloomy room. And when they enter the room, they switch on the light and they see a person standing there with pointing their guns at them. Just feel the thrill. Now, the third incident, the Max enters with a pistol. Oswald was stunned to see Max children in his room with a pistol. He had thought that he was in Berlin. He thought that Max was in Berlin. He never knew that Max was there. Max was a slender, crafty, and had the face of a fox. There was nothing menacing about Max except his pistol. And nothing to get, they were not afraid. The appearance of Max was not fearful, but they were afraid as because of the gun which he was having, the pistol which he was having. Max demanded the important report concerning some new missiles that were in the custody of Oswald. So he had kept Oswald at the gunpoint and he was asking him to quickly give all the informations about the new missiles. He wanted to take it from Oswald. Now, the nervous Max jumps out of the window. Max was nervous. He asked Oswald to send the police away or he would. At that time, what happened, children? There was a knock at the door. There was a knock at the door. Wait, did I miss? I think I missed one. The two and then the three. Oswald cooks up a story. Yes, I had missed one slide. Oswald cooks up a story about the balcony. On the spur of the moment, Oswald cooked up when they entered the room. It was all dark. They opened the room to see that there was Max pointing them the gun. They switched on the light to find Max pointing the gun at them. Then quickly, what Oswald does, he was also panicked. All right, Oswald cooks up a story about the balcony. On the spur of the moment, Oswald cooked up a story. He told Fowler and Max that his balcony below the window had become a big nuisance. It was the second time in a month that somebody had got into his room. From there, Max showed his ignorance about the balcony and told that he entered through a pass key. Oswald told Max that the balcony actually belonged to the other apartment. It extended under his window. All right, he quickly cooked up this story. The knocking at the door. Max was standing erect not far from Oswald. He was waving his pistol with a commanding gesture, children. Soon he heard a knock at the door. Oswald cooked up another story at once. What was the first story, children? Yes, that there is a balcony which is an extension of the apartment beside, and the balcony was actually a virtual one. So the next story he cooked up, see, after the knock at the door, he told Max that it should be the police. He had a very important paper with him. It needed a little extra protection. He had told the police to check on him to make sure that everything was all right. Fowler jumped aside. Max bit his lip nervously. Oswald threatened Max that the police would enter as soon as the door was unlocked. They would not hesitate to shoot Max. Right? So the nervous Max jumps out of the window. Max was nervous. He asked Oswald to send the police away, or he would not hesitate to shoot him. The knocking at the door became louder. Max kept his body twisted and pointed his gun at Oswald and Fowler children. He put another leg over the windowsill. You know what is the windowsill? Yes. Then, in desperation, he was all desperate because Oswald had cooked up the story that the police may enter at any time, knocking him down. As he dropped, he screamed once, surely, because he had went into the lap of death. The waiter appears. The door opened and a waiter stood there with a tray, a bottle, and two glasses. Actually, it was not the police children, but it was the waiter whom Oswald had already ordered. Fowler was still white faced. He asked about the man who jumped out on the balcony. Oswald assured Fowler that Max would not return as there was no balcony below the window. Right. So everything had finished up. So let me come to the conclusion of the short story, The Midnight Visitor. The ultimate message that one can get from this story is that in any situation, we should not panic. Instead, we should take a step and face the situation with our presence of mind. Understood, children? Promise me that you would learn this. Promise me that you would learn this. Okay? And now comes the most interesting part. When you enrich your vocab. Musty. Musty means bad smelling. Where did we get this word? Musty room in the 6th floor. Okay? Musty is bad smelling. Passably. Passably means tolerably. Alright? Spy, secret agent. Espionage, doing the work of a spy. Now, children, I would always request you, please use these words. Please learn these words and use in your write-ups or when you are speaking to somebody. Alright? Menacing, threatening. Grasp, had a grip on. Stammered, spoke hesitantly. Deftly, cleverly. So this only, see, 2 to 4, 6, 8. 8 words, new words. Only 8 new words I've asked you to learn. Please learn and use these words in your write-ups. Use these words in your, whenever you want to speak. Whenever you are writing some write-up or you are uh, writing something, please do always use these words in your creative works. All right, children. So, with the end, I have taught you so many things. I think you would learn the new words, you would learn the messages which I've asked you. Okay, and you have enjoyed the chapter. Next class, whenever I come to you, I will be sharing the extra questions and the as we have time now, I will be discussing the extract based questions also. All right, I'll be doing the detailed discussion. So today I don't think I've been left with any time. So next class again I'll be joining you and the answers of your grammar section. I remember I've already prepared the PDF. The next class I'll be discussing. So, children, what is your work today? Your work today is to go through the chapter thoroughly, give a thorough reading. Children, please help me to help you out. And I trust my children than anything else. So, I just believe that after my class, any time today, okay, you would go through the chapter and you would see whether you have understood. If you haven't, next class, again, I am coming up with the same chapter. You can come up with your queries, right? Till then, be safe, be positive, keep on studying. Don't waste time, right? So, see you again tomorrow in your class. Goodbye.